Caleb had only recently moved into his new apartment when he found that it had a regular visitor, a colorful parrot squawking away. Caleb had started to become rather fond of the creature. As he saw the bird once a day and taught it some new words, then the words that the bird used seemed to click, and Caleb visibly paled. He knew he had to take immediate action and called 911. They had been skeptical. How could a bird know something so concerning about a crime being committed? Caleb needed to prove to the police that something was actually happening. He started to record all the phrases the bird said, leaving nothing out. With the proof of the recordings, Caleb went to the police station. And when he arrived, they still tried to dismiss his concerns. Detective Michaels and Caleb set out to find the truth. But it seemed like this was not as easy as the two would have liked it to be. Who was the owner of the parrot? What did those cryptic messages mean? And most importantly, would they be able to crack the case? Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and ring the notification bell to never miss our upcoming stories. It hadn't been long before that Caleb, an ex-Marine, had bought his new place in a quieter part of town. As a person still struggling with loud noise, it seemed to be his wisest course of action, especially with the view his new place gave him. The place seemed to be paradise. That all seemed to change when he was lounging on his balcony, enjoying the sunset that was only an hour away. The golden hues were painting his face as the noise came from his right, and a bright red parrot landed on his railing. Not knowing whether the bird was wild or domesticated, he kept his distance from it. The creature ruffled its feathers, picking at them as it joined Caleb and enjoying the final rays of the sun. The bird squawked a few times before leaving Caleb again. The ex-Marine had thought it to be a one-time thing, but as the days progressed, he noticed how it had become a routine for the bird to come a few hours before sunset and leave after the day had been exchanged for the night. As that sun set, the bird again perched on his railing, and this time Caleb fed the bird. After some research, Caleb came to the conclusion that this bird was not wild, but probably either released or abandoned by its owners. His heart ached for the bird as he let it feed from his hand. "Who's a pretty bird?" he said, cooing at it. The bird cocked his head as it let out a screech. Pretty bird, pretty bird." It mimicked. Caleb was stunned. He knew that parrots could talk, but during the past week he hadn't heard something that even sembled the word. Over the following days, the routine the two shared became almost sacred to Caleb. Soon the bird began to talk using the few phrases and words that Caleb had taught him. It had been a warm evenings where Caleb had been softly playing with his guitar. The bird would sometimes mimic the tones of his guitar, but tonight he seemed to be particularly talkative. Between the regular pillows and pretty bird chants, he began muttering a series of words that seemed disjointed at first. Caleb was just trying to understand it when goosebumps started to form. "No, no," the parrot said, frantically flapping its wings. "Please don't." He ruffled his feathers. As the bird continued, "Shush, someone will hear." Caleb felt his heart race, unsure what it meant. "What are you trying to tell me?" "Pretty bird," he murmured. "Sure. Someone will hear," the bird repeated. Caleb wanted to ask again, but they continued talking. "Please let me call home," it squawked. "No calling, no calling, no help coming, no help coming." Caleb's blood ran cold as realization struck him. This wasn't just the bird saying words. It was a replay of a past event. He knew he had to call the police. Determined to uncover the truth behind the parents' cryptic messages, Caleb took action. He set up discreet surveillance cameras on his balcony, ensuring every move of his feathered companion would be captured. As days turned into weeks, Caleb noticed patterns emerging in the parents' behavior. The bird seemed to repeat certain phrases at specific times, almost like a message on a loop. Amid Caleb's careful listening, the parrot introduced a new layer of mystery. It started mimicking knocking sounds, creating an eerie atmosphere in the room. Caleb's keen observation paid off as he began discerning a rhythmic pattern in the parrot sounds. Drawing from his experience as an ex-Marine, Caleb's instincts kicked in. He realized that the parrot's rhythmic tapping was Morse code, With growing excitement and urgency, he deciphered the message the parrot had been sending SOS. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt, and the gravity of the situation became palpable. Caleb's eyes widened as he grasped the truth. The parent had been sending a distress signal all along, right from his own balcony. With unwavering resolve, he contacted the police, providing them with the recorded Morse code messages. He understood that the parent held the key to a mystery he couldn't solve alone, and the authorities needed to be involved. As the dispatcher relayed the information to the authorities, initial skepticism prevailed among the officers. They couldn't fathom the idea of a parent sending Morse code distress signal. Nevertheless, a glimmer of curiosity sparked, prompting them to agree to investigate further. Among the skeptical officers, Detective Michael stood out. His experience, "I recognized the potential significance of Caleb's discovery." Intrigued by the cryptic messages, he suspected a possible link to his own ongoing investigations. Caleb and Detective Michaels huddled together to plan their next move. They needed to track the parent's movements and find out where it went after leaving Caleb's balcony. With determination in their hearts, they equipped the parent with a tracking device. Armed with the tracking device and a shared sense of purpose, Caleb and Detective Michaels set out to follow the parent. With the aid of advanced tracking technology, their search intensified. The device led them unerringly to the parent's destination, and they moved swiftly, aware that they were inching closer to a potential breakthrough. Caleb and Detective Michaels finally tracked the parent to an abandoned house, intensifying their search for answers. Their search inside the abandoned house yielded frustrating results. There were no signs of life, leaving them both puzzled and bewildered. The enigma seemed to deepen, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Just when their frustration peaked, the parent uttered a chilling phrase, with unwavering determination. Caleb and Detective Michaels broke open a concealed staircase in the abandoned house. Their shock was palpable as they discovered the abducted lady held captive by her ex-boyfriend. The parent's mimicry of her voice had led them to the shocking revelation, and they knew that they had rescued her from a horrifying ordeal. Following the parent's eerie words, they descended into an underground hiding place, revealing the abducted lady's terrifying ordeal. The police swiftly arrested the woman's ex-boyfriend, finally bringing an end to her traumatic ordeal. Justice prevailed as the culprit was unveiled, ensuring that he faced the consequences of his heinous actions. With the police's unwavering assistance, the lady was rescued from her harrowing confinement. Caleb and the parrot played instrumental roles in her release, bringing her back to the world. She had been forcibly separated from Caleb, and the lady decided that the parrot deserved a permanent place in Caleb's home. Their bond with the bird had grown strong, and they couldn't bear to part with the faithful companion who had led them to this remarkable reunion. A bond forged in the crucible of rescue and redemption connected Caleb, the parent, and the rescued lady. Their remarkable journey marked the end of a heartwarming chapter in their lives, reminding them that even the most unexpected friendships could lead to extraordinary outcomes.